Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and this week we will be showcasing the new Spanish cruiser Asturias. I actually haven't played the Cataluna, as you can see. 0xp, just put a commander on there. One I got Christmas last year, Papa Noel. But yeah, so we have this commander I actually got from the when I got the Canaris a couple years back, but so that's why I was using a 10-point commander on. Nothing special, just basic skills. I went with heavy AP instead of Adrenaline Rush because it's my Canaris captain, and Canaris captain is AP only, so that actually increases DPM in a different way than increasing your reload speed. So that's what I am using in this with this captain. Although, if we go over here to Papa Noel, I have a different build out for these, which is based on reload rather than the heavy AP. So, stuff about the ship. Tough is short for the ultimate frontier. Different languages have it in different translations. Forget the Japanese one. It's Saidai no Zensen, which is basically the ultimate, and then frontier as in war front, rather than frontier as in western or wild west or whatever. Anyways, it's the ultimate. Tough is it has a few different ways to go. I described this in one of my videos. I'll link, pop it up here, which one starts with the description of all the ways, the spawn waves. And then because of that, things are different, and so I'll be talking about what I'm doing and why I'm positioning myself in a way to anticipate which spawns will go and what reactions I will do based on these spawns. So with that, let's go ahead and head into battle. So as you can see here, I'm running with a division of a few players because we have a battleship. But we have 4 more players. The battleship starts in the north section. So if it's 3 players in the division, the battleship will start with the division down the south, but since we have 4 members, it starts in the north, and so we can ask our division member to go up and take care of the cruiser that spawns the Atlanta. So we're going to go ahead and we make sure we have HE loaded because we have 2 destroyers. Now, as you see, our destroyer is going up, but not going past this island, whereas the other destroyer, no, our Dido, it's basically a destroyer. The destroyer is going up a little bit further. You don't want to go too far up because the destroyers have a minimum distance they would like to keep, and they will run away if you get too close. There's also a certain point where they will run away. So if you let them go for too far, they'll just run away. So you want to kill them quickly, but you don't want to approach them to kill them quickly. So since we want to kill them quickly, we go ahead and we're using the burst fire, and we're adjusting for the slowdown with the burst fire. You have 2 seconds, so that's that. And the burst fire there was the right option because we weren't going to be able to shoot a second salvo within that time. The burst fire for this ship, it's very much will you be able to shoot a shot within the time that you would reload? If yes, you don't use it. If no, you use the burst fire. Because otherwise it really takes away from the DPM. And yeah, using it well takes a lot of skill. I met some people who would only use the burst fire. It's great against battleships in PvP because you would look at a battleship, watch them shoot, and then you would use your burst fire against them, and then you would be dark before they reload. And that's with super ships. But with in PvE, you generally don't want to unless you're not going to be able to use the shells again soon. But yeah, so we're moving up because the Dallas spawns here. We're going to have to turn right for the Dallas. Right now we're just trying to set fires. And notice I didn't use the burst fire there, and that's because with the 2-second delay I would have just shot the rock with the others and had to been reloading a long time. Also, we're going to be shooting at the Dallas here in a short moment, which if we'd used the burst fire, we'd still be reloading. By turning around like this, rather than turning our guns, we are getting away from the battleships. And you notice I just used the front guns for the burst fire. So now if need be, I still have 2 guns that can shoot as we turn away. I do not have the skill for the expert loader. I really need to put expert loader on these Spanish ships. But I'm running 10-point captains. So no expert loader yet. So we're shooting at armor piercing, hoping the 8-inch armor piercing goes through, and getting some penetration through the superstructure. As these older style US battleships have a decent amount of superstructure. Yeah, not sure why the my files just popped up right there. Just ignore that. Computers are magic. Nobody understands them. So I used it in the burst fire there because I didn't think I'd be shooting here shortly. Honestly, I probably could have gone without the burst fire, and then I'd be shooting at the New Mexico faster. And we're swapping shells anyways. We need the armor piercing because at this range with the 8-inch, the armor piercing is the preferred, and if I'm going to be shooting at these cruisers that just spawned, I mean, the first reason was actually for the battleships. The armor piercing was for the battleships, but it happened that these cruisers also spawned, and they're looking at me. I don't like it when they look at me. So I have priority target to know when people are looking at me, because I prefer not to have people looking at me. And so we're letting it burn a little bit, let them swap ammo types. Well, now they're not even looking at me. So now we're just going to let it burn because we have a heal. And there we go, we finally got the Citadel. We're going to go for the one with the most health. And get a couple more Citadels. And so it's going to be dead by the time we reload, probably. And so we're going to go ahead and swap to the next one. just spawned in and is already at half health, thanks to a Dido that has what armor piercing was waiting for it. And there we go. On the second salvo, we got the Citadel, and we used the burst fire because well, I didn't think we'd be able to get another shot off there. And so you see now we're at 59k. We don't have a kill. We already have 59,000 damage. And this is not one of those really good ships either. I wouldn't call this a good ship. I'd call it it's okay. Well, that's the thing. It's also it's a heavy cruiser, so it's not great at DPM as with all heavy cruisers are. You trade DPM for penetration, and you have the Mahan doing an excellent job of what not to do in a destroyer, is sail straight into the area of where the other destroyers spawn, because this is where you die usually. So first we're going to wait for the first waiting for where this first wave is, and I like to sit around here at F8 because this lets me, if they spawn south, then I can shoot them in the broadside there. If they spawn east, then I can shoot broadside there. If they spawn west, well, I lost the 60-30 bet, and I'm not getting damage, and I'll just be waiting over here for the next one, or I'll head over towards them to get angle on the next wave that spawns south. So yeah, that's why I like to sit over here. So as we can see, they are going to be spawning on the east side on the 10 line. So I go ahead and call attention to it, because not everybody knows to look for where the planes are flying. The planes fly towards where they spawn before they spawn. If you have RPF, it's easy to tell. You watch the planes fly, and then the RPF will pop up when they start spawning. And so here we're swapping to the burst fire because we're about to go behind an island. And we're not going after the Pensacola, that's the target. We're going after Omaha because the Omaha has the highest DPM, and the Pensacola, that's a target. When it's a Pensacola that is the target, it usually dies to the airplanes, so you don't have to worry about it. If it's an Omaha, it's a little bit too small and a little bit too, doesn't have enough armor, and it will stay alive. But the Pensacola, for some reason, they have just enough armor to be crushed like a Pepsi Cola can by these planes. And if you see that, their aerodrome got them. And we're being spotted by the planes. And they're looking at us. And so we want the Pensacola dead. We almost killed the Pensacola. And it's okay. Our shots went into the island anyways, so it's okay that we didn't do that. Now, the Dido, what the Dido is doing is pretty risky as well, because on that low of health, the whiskey about to come in. Oh look, our one shell that hit is a Citadel. What he's doing is using Adrenaline Rush to increase the DPM to a suitable level for ops, because the Dido is pretty bad. And here, I'll link the video. That's also a tough for the video here, so you can see how bad the Dido is and how it can be used well. It's honestly mostly me complaining about the Dito. And what we are doing here is we are throwing torps where one of the spawns for whiskey, just in case. We don't know where whiskey's going. The Mahan over there has spotted the carrier and gained the attention of the carrier's escorts, and is now right where the whiskey actually spawns. With 5 destroyers, 5 gunboats, U.S. gunboat destroyers against 1 U.S. gunboat destroyer. That's, yeah. It went about as expected. And so, since the second wave is on the right side and we know the third wave is going to be center, we're actually going to go to where the second wave is to assist with that if they come close, and be in position to get broadside on the third wave. We're going to swing through the repair circle on the way just to get some repairs. Since we're heading this way, we're not camping the repair circle because we don't need to camp the repair circle. We want to get broadsides to get damage. Ships that can camp the repair circle are Atlanta, the Flint, stuff like that, because they have the high arching to go over the carriers. Anything with high enough arch to go over the mountain and long enough range to actually do something from there, they can camp the circle. So Sims, Kid, Atlanta, Flint, but and then carriers, because they can. The carriers should camp the circle, but everything else you should be going out and going around and repositioning. This map is big for a reason. We're using HE because we want those funny HE citadels. Also, AP might have a chance to overpen even at this range. Look at that, HE citadel. And so we're moving over here. So you notice there's a rock in between us and the North Carolina, and that's so the North Carolina can't shoot at us. And we're going to use our torpedoes, something that ships without torpedoes cannot do. So we're doing this to move into position so we can shoot the Cleveland when it comes around the corner. We don't actually need to, because Cleveland's already dead. Burst fire on the Ranger, hoping to do something, but it's still very, very healthy. I burst fired actually on it because I thought it would disappear really quickly, like last time, but it didn't. And the Ranger will just run away until I think it actually might despawn off the map. I'm not sure. I have not actually seen it despawn off the map. Have not let it go that far. And there, Heinrich got the Citadel on it. And so we have armor piercing to burst fire for 14k, and then the torpedoes to finish it off. And now we're moving behind these rocks. We're going to be using the islands as cover as we go through, just in case they start shooting at us. It's also because we can't shoot back because we're reloading after that burst fire. use armor piercing against the Cleveland since that's what's loaded. So here, armor piercing, the targets are the Cleveland, the Wichita, and actually the battleship, the Missouri this case, sometimes it's Iowa. I looked there, I said I don't need to worry about the Dallas because it's the only thing looking at me. And I'm actually going to make sure I can use the right side torps on the Dallas. And I'm going to focus on the ships over here that are coming in. And you see we did 9K on the Missouri with armor piercing. And this is why you want to use armor piercing on the broadsides of ships. Okay. No more Missouri. And that's a case of shell loaded is the best kind of shell. Went for the Farragut, although the Keys got it with their that and secondaries. And then we got the Dallas, as I said I would get it. And I don't think we're going to get another round off, so I forgot that I had 2 more shots left, and so you could see there you can actually swap aims real quick if you want. So I've actually swapped between targets before in a different map. It's hard to do, but it's possible. So there we go. We have 230k damage, only 2 kills, because we're more focused on doing damage rather than securing kills. And with slow reloading guns, that's usually the better thing to do. We do have 12 citadels, which is nice. So for team, we're second on the team, the Bayard. Bayard's a really good ship, but we only did slightly less than the Bayard because Bayard was doing all the kill secure with the faster reload and everything. Then of course the Bayard would be kill securing. And so you see the damage that we did. Biggest target that we did damage to was the North Carolina at the end. Missouri was only 13k. So you see we did 130k with armor piercing, 50k with high explosive, only 4k of fires done, and that's why I just prefer using armor piercing. And then another 40k with torpedoes. A little bit on, oh sorry, we only had 2k in fires. No, I'm sorry, the 4k was secondaries. And that's another reason why I prefer using armor piercing. And then we were using a blue booster for experience, but everything else was either green or gray. I don't remember. It looks very gray. So anyways, so this is the Asturias, the Spanish cruiser. I hope it was a good introduction to Spanish cruisers. And if you have any questions, comments, you want to see something, you want to see me put a certain playstyle or a certain op played in a certain way, just let me know in the comments and I will try my best. That, like, subscribe if you like the video and you want to see more, or don't. Can't tell you what to do because I'm not your mother. But I do hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.